going to read a little bit because you got to know a little bit about Sardis for it to make sense. Sardis was a wealthy but complacent city. They were once one of the richest cities in Asia Minor, and they were known by the gold from a nearby river, right? And they did early coin minting. But in the first century, the glory days were behind it. The city lived more on reputation than reality. So when Jesus was giving them the warning, he says, you have the reputation of being alive, but you are dead. Now, the city also was built on this big hill. Its downfall was carelessness. Sardis sat on a steep hill, and it was thought to be sort of impenetrable and unconquerable, but it was twice in history. And so the enemies captured it by sneaking up unguarded paths at night. So while the city slept, they were attacked and conquered. So when Jesus was talking to the city, its readers would have been very aware of, if you do not wake up, I will come in like a thief. It would have understood that because they knew what it meant to be complacent and the cost of being complacent. And then lastly, it was a region that had a strong pagan presence. And I believe it was the cult of Artemis is who they worshiped, and that had a lot of sexual immorality with it. And so the moral laxity, it made it easy for the Christians to blend in rather than stand apart. So Jesus says their works are incomplete, and he tells them to repent. And he also tells them, it's very interesting, strengthen what remains. So what in the world does Sardis and single divorced men in America have to do in common? Why are we even talking about this today? Well, here's the gist of this. You and I live in an affluent community, America. Now, some of us listening are in the suburbs of these big affluent cities, and some of you are in rural America, and we're like, we're not the same. No, we're all the same. Most everybody listening is holding $1,000 cell phone in their hand, right? They're in a mode of transportation that they either own or are buying. We are in the top 1% of the world, and we're certainly in the top 0.0001% in the history of mankind. And many of you listening are professing Christians, dare I say, cultural Christians. We're able to say we believe, right? We went to the church camp. We said the thing